Greetings and welcome everyone to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me, who is the master of the one-fingered death punch, good old JB.
The broken finger. Sitting to my left, he is the Russian dressing on my Reuben, Mr. Fluffy.
Oh, I love a good Reuben.
I could use a good Reuben right now.
Oh my God. And sitting across from me, he is the fingers in my mittens, Irish.
All right, everybody. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. We are about to embark upon the very first, the inaugural, annual, anal. Annual.
Yes.
I did say fingers in my mittens.
State of the WWE as we see it here on the Beers and Body Slams podcast. We're going to talk about all the things that are currently going on, maybe some things behind the scenes. We want to talk about basically it's going to be a grab bag of complaining and bitching and moaning. Maybe one or two.
This is why you love us, though.
That's right. Maybe one or two,
bold predictions.
Bold predictions that are certainly sure to go wrong. Who knows? We're going to get that. We have a phenomenal beer that we're going to talk about and all that when we come right back.
Awesome!
This is the Beers and Body Slams podcast
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
with your host, Mr. Fluffy,
Hello, ladies.
good old JB,
Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty.
and the Irish O'Leary.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T!
This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Right, Mr. Fluffy, what are we drinking?
From Saugatuck Brewing Company.
Good job.
Thank you. We have their Blueberry Maple Stout.
Yes.
Now, I will say this beer, this was Irish's week.
Yes.
And this was a really good beer. What he didn't know is I'd already had it before, not on the show, but I had it before.
Me too.
My good friend Dave, actually we had the same thing.
Yep.
My good friend Dave brought it to me saying, "You're going to love this beer." And
He was right.
He was totally right.
Totally.
So when you walked in with it, I got that giddy boy excited. Like, whoo, I know that beer. Whoo.
But let's be honest, Fluffy, it doesn't take very much to get your giddy boy excited.
No, it does not. But it is an amazing, amazing beer. It tastes like pancakes. It is the closest thing I've ever
Blueberry
had
pancakes.
to blueberry pancakes in a bottle.
Yes.
Yep.
It is, you taste blueberry, you taste syrup, you taste butter. And it being a stout, it has that heaviness to it that makes you feel like you're chewing something.
It's good. It's dark and rich.
Yes.
And thick.
Yes.
It's good.
Very good stuff. She's a good one.
It is a beer that and usually I try to find something you can pair it with. You don't pair this with shit. You
No.
just drink this
You just
straight
drink it.
out.
The ice cream.
Maybe vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, you put some vanilla ice cream down.
All right,
Float.
maybe.
Butter pecan ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So good.
Now I want
it
ice
is-
cream.
I know, right?
But I will say this: it is super sweet,
Yeah.
but not in a horrible way. But I couldn't drink more than like one. Like I don't think I can drown a 6-pack of these.
I couldn't drink many stouts anyway.
I can do stouts, but
For me, I can't drink. I can't drink a lot of them anyway because they're heavier.
Yeah.
But this one, because it's a sweeter finish.
Yeah, this would be a good like end of the night beer.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of thing you're drinking all night, and you're looking for that last sort of thing to finish.
Or this is this would be a good brunch one.
Oh yeah. If you're having like eggs or something like
Yeah.
that, there you go.
Good brunch beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really good.
Now
brunch
I
beer.
want brunch.
Yeah.
And if you find the bottle, it is the happiest, go luckiest lumberjack I've ever seen excited about pancakes.
Yes.
It is a great. It
It's
is
like me at a breakfast spot.
Oh my God, it is awesome. So thank you so much. This is an amazing beer. We'll talk more about it as the show goes along. But woof, this is a good one. Good job,
good
Irish.
start
Thank
to
you.
a good show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so basically, we're talking about what's currently going on in WWE, rumors that we're hearing, where we think we're going. You know, we are into November. This is going to come out November 6th. So we are early in November. We're heading into Survivor Series, which leads into the Royal Rumble, which starts the road to WrestleMania.
Yep.
And as sad as it sounds, we're 3 months away from beginning the big push to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So we are not
Time's
far away.
flying by.
And December normally is a very down month for WWE.
Yep.
They know it. After Thanksgiving, they're booking.
It's the one time a year they actually get some time off.
Yeah.
So
and
the
exactly.
storylines will be scaled back a lot.
Exactly. So we're going to see a lot up to Survivor Series. And then after Survivor Series, it goes kind of dormant. And then in
They have
January.
I think their tribute to the troops in December.
Yep.
And then that'll be the last one
Yeah.
for a while.
And then I think they're going to really, I think the big push is going to come as we announced this week on the show. We have the 25th anniversary special in January.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's
That'll be a big one.
big deal. But
Should be.
all right, so let's start out with the news from last week that I don't want to say shook the world, but really did kind of come as a shock because they don't release people at this time of year. We had 3 releases in one day.
I would say 2 of them were not surprises.
Nope.
One was.
Yeah, we had Darren Young, Summer Rae, and Emma.
Yes.
All gone.
My thing with Emma, I think she kind of talked herself out of a job
I agree
with
with that.
her whole social media posts.
But she kept complaining, and she was
And that's what I'm
making enemies.
saying. Yeah, she made a lot of enemies backstage. But my thing was, why was she on Raw the week before then? If you knew you were going to release her, and why was she given a pay-per-view spot, knowing that you were going to release her?
Maybe.
That part didn't make sense to me.
Well, number one,
Like Darren Young
yeah.
and Summer Rae haven't been on TV in months.
Yeah,
so
totally makes
that
sense with
made
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, but also look at it this way though. Think about who she was wrestling though.
but it doesn't matter.
Wrestling Asuka is not exactly when you know you're going to get obliterated by Asuka. That's sort of like a kick in the ass on the way out.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if you think about
even
it,
still, she's
it's-
involved in the storyline,
I understand that, but still, it's you know you're going
and
to
she
get
was
destroyed.
on Raw the next night.
I agree with you.
So that was a shock.
You know, Darren Young hasn't been on TV. God, in what 3 months?
longer,
He was
longer
the
than that.
OG
He
Titus
just-
brand.
He
Yeah.
wasn't. He couldn't get over. That was his issue.
Yeah, when the primetime players broke up,
That
he
was
just
the end
floundered.
beginning of the end for him. Yeah.
And then they did the whole Bob Backlund, make Darren Young
Yeah,
great
it
again.
was horrible.
And it had potential and never went anywhere.
No.
And I think okay, I don't want to make this sound horrible. I think he would have been gone a year ago if it wasn't for his orientation in media. Like
Well, that he got hurt.
but I'm saying is I don't think, and I'm not saying they kept him around because he was homosexual, but I just felt like they tried to hold on to him in the hopes that he would become something. Like I think they wanted him to be.
He actually was decent. Like you said, with the primetime players, he had potential. He was never that single star that they tried to make him to be.
No, they should have never broken
And
him
I
and
think
Titus up.
they only broke him up because of his coming out.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to capitalize off of that publicity, and it backfired.
Yeah. I think they kept him in primetime players. And Titus, again, we'll go back to if I had booked it, he would have come out the same way. I would have kept him as a tag team, and Titus would have been his defender. Like, not necessarily physically, but Titus would have been the one going, I support my tag team partner.
Yeah.
I travel with this guy. He's no different than anybody else I've ever hung out with. Playing up the idea that just because he's gay does not mean he's different. It's just who he is.
Yeah, the problem with that is
They wouldn't have talked about that on air, though.
Yeah,
But he would have done it on social media because Titus does a lot of that stuff on the
on
side.
social media, but not on camera. They would have never talked about.
well,
that.
there's no direct benefit for the McMahon family
no,
without that. The only way that would work if Stephanie would come out and say,
especially seeing their stance and politically.
"Don't be a bully."
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Don't be a bully.
Okay, it's just like their political stance.
You know,
Oh, you're talking about her or the mom?
yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
And then Summer Rae,
Well, I'm sure the whole family's that
hey, she's a cabinet
on
person.
that side.
Summer Rae, not a shocker. We haven't seen her in a year.
Taking some great pictures on Instagram, though.
Yeah.
Probably Vua Hubba Hubba.
Yeah. And I guess it raises the question of, if they're willing to release those 3 now, who else?
There's more coming. Like I said, on the last show.
Dana Brooks, I could see.
I like Dana. She doesn't have the the personality on air.
Yeah.
Her ring work, it still needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
She hasn't been on TV for different reasons. I just think she'll be the next one. I feel like her, Apollo Crews could be a candidate for that list. I think that they're going to make some more cuts before the Royal Rumble.
I think the Ascension will be gone.
I think after the holidays, unfortunately, they're going to make some changes going into WrestleMania. But yeah, the Ascension would definitely be on that list.
Yeah.
Slater and Rhino will be on that list.
Yep.
I think there's a good 8 to 10 people that I could probably see being cut.
You know what? Who else I could see gone? And says it. I could see somebody like a Zack Ryder, who
I think they still have potential.
No, I think Mojo does.
I think they both do as a heel tag team.
We'll see. They haven't done anything with them yet.
Yeah, I still think that they have some potential with them. And Ryder still is he still gets a reaction with the crowd, so I think there's still some potential with him.
And there's still the rumors that Dolph is eventually going to walk away.
Yeah, that he'll be gone next year.
He wants to leave.
Yeah,
when his contract's up, he's basically going to walk away.
They're keeping him around to prove Shinsuke Nakamura a liar.
Yeah,
podcast kitty.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, and there's other guys that are on the roster that I'm wondering about. I mean, just I don't know. I don't know if it's poor booking or if it's
yes, it's poor booking.
Just stop right there, sir.
Stop right. Oh,
what do you mean you don't know? It's poor booking. Here's the thing: like when you look at like a Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke is her failure on the main roster lands solely at the feet of management.
Oh, definitely.
They brought her up way too soon.
Yeah.
She's not. Look, podcast kitty, shut the hell up.
She's really mad about the Emma leaving.
They should have kept Dana and Emma together.
Yeah, and there were so many other things that because of her greenness, and that could have been cured in NXT.
Yeah,
that's
what the whole purpose is.
And then they do crazy things like people in NXT that should be called up. They're still down there.
Yeah.
Well, look how long Rude was there for.
Rude was there probably too long.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe was there way too long.
Yep.
I think Peyton Royce and
they're ready to come up.
Billy Kane
or Kate are ready, more than ready to come up. But the thing, and I think that Titus Brand guy, Apollo is one of those guys too. And they don't book them. They don't write characters. There's no character development. It's the same problem that Bobby Roode's having right now.
Bobby Roode has no character right now. That's my biggest issue right now. I love Bobby Roode, and I'll say it out there. I love Bobby Roode from the promotion will not be named. I am a huge fan. Went all the way back to Team Canada, all the way through his run with Beer Money, all the way to he was one of the guys that when I stopped watching them, him and AJ and a couple other people, that I still paid attention to what they were doing in hopes they would show up here eventually. And now he's here, and I'm bored with him.
The aha moment, I think, came for me when, listening to the Jim Cornette guest appearance on the Jericho podcast is when he was talking about bringing guys in who could not cut promos and teach them how to cut promos. You could tell the superstars that were going to make it. Like John Cena was going to make it.
Yeah.
Because he could cut a great promo and he could sort of wrestle. And he had all the skills that it took. He was first to get there, last to leave, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you look at what's going on in NXT. And I know they script a little bit in NXT, but it seems to me it's a little bit more, you're going to go out there and you're going to say this, this, and this. And they learn how to cut promos better. They have promo school and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then they get to the main roster, and then they no longer cease to be professional wrestlers. They're purely actors.
Yeah.
And when you train as a pro wrestler and you get to the main roster and all you are is an actor, look at the people who are struggling the most.
Bailey
to get over. Bailey, wrestler.
Yep.
Sasha Banks, wrestler.
Yeah.
Finn Balor, wrestler.
I'll tell you what, Charlotte's not getting the reaction she was at the beginning. Charlotte's not getting nearly the reaction she was.
Wrestler. But then you look at the last pay-per-view and you look at the match between Finn Balor and AJ Styles. No build-up, no big promos about it. They literally introduced him and let him go in the ring, tore the damn house down. That is what I want to see. Not I'm going to come out here and talk for 25 minutes and propel my storyline. That's just crap. And that's what the WWE main roster is struggling with.
The problem is now they have conditioned their fans to the entertainment portion of their brand now. So it's not about necessarily who's the better wrestler. Because if you look at who's been at the top for the longest, Cena, you got a Braun Strowman, you got Roman Reigns, who was green. Like, you don't necessarily have, the AJ Styles, he had a good run, but the Balors aren't at the top of the card.
Right.
And so you have to be able to have a character that sells on the main roster. You can't be Roderick Strong and be a great wrestler, and you're not going to get over on the main roster.
But look at what happened during that match, though. The crowd reacted to it.
They've had years of following.
Well, this thing is, my other problem is I also think they're going...
And the fans care about them.
That's true.
The roster is so, I don't want to say depleted, but so thinly spread between the two brands that the storylines are going on too long. And I'll use Rusev versus Orton as a perfect example. How many times did they wrestle? Like
many.
5?
Yeah.
Too many.
And it was just over and over and over. I have the same problem right now with Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. The first couple times I was excited. Now I'm getting bored with it. They get so locked into an idea that it just keeps running and running and running. And it used to be you got your title shot. If you lost, you moved on to somebody else. Now, if you lose your title shot, you have at least 2 more coming because you got 2 more chances. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
You have a match. If you lose, next person in line.
Right.
And that's what's boring, especially with the title picture. That's what's driving me nuts. They just keep using the same guys over and over and over again.
That goes back to the territory days.
Well, it's different. Like especially if you're a face and you're the chaser, quote unquote, you want to build up to the fact that they've overcome, the odds. You got to build up to the big finish.
2 or 3 I'm fine with.
Yeah.
We're getting to the point where now we're getting 5 or 6.
Well, that's a product of bad booking and the brand split. Like you've depleted your depth via the brand split, and the problem is also going back to your NXT analogy. When you're calling guys up and girls, they're calling people up with no vision.
Yeah.
Like why would you have Bobby Roode come up, who's been a heel in NXT the whole entire time,
right?
And all of a sudden he's a face that I'm supposed to cheer about,
right? Exactly.
So if I followed NXT for the last year or two, watching Bobby Roode as a heel.
Oh, and he was a badass
and
heel.
then he shows up on SmackDown as a babyface. So now I'm just supposed to flip the switch and accept that. So like
a week later.
And that's why people are confused. People
Right.
are like, why is he a good guy now? Like, why did he just change overnight?
Right. And a brilliant case in point, not only is Bobby Roode that, but look at the Ascension. The Ascension when they were in NXT were
monsters.
Yeah, monsters,
Damn.
dominant. And then they
dominant NXT history.
Yeah, and then they bring them up to the main roster, and then they're a joke. They're literally a joke 2 weeks later. Yeah. Another example is the Club.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that Gallows and Anderson like to joke around and have a good time, and that's fine. But when it comes down to business, do business the hard way, and they're not. They're just, they're not utilizing. They're not. It's Vince. Nothing happens outside of WWE, and Vince doesn't pay attention to anything outside of WWE.
And that's what I say. We'll go back to that. We've said it before. Is this a perfect example of, it's Vince's vision, it's Vince's idea, and if it doesn't fit in what he thinks, it gets buried. And everything, think about it, every person we're talking about outside the club is people that came through NXT that built up their persona coming in through NXT and then hit the main roster and just collapse. Bailey, Finn, Bobby Roode now. Shinsuke.
I think that it's too early for Bobby. The jury's still out.
Yeah. But Shinsuke, Shinsuke is doing well. But he hasn't had a meaningful feud yet.
I think he falls under the all entrance category right now.
Yeah,
for me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid that's what Bobby's going too.
Not that he doesn't put on good matches, but right now fans are more into his entrance than his matches.
You know?
Right.
KO is about the only one that's really come up
Right.
out of NXT and been able to establish himself, keep his character, and build momentum forward. Because beyond that, it really hasn't been that many.
But you can tell who the management's been behind.
Yeah.
Because of the way they've been booked.
Right.
He's been booked as a guy that's going to be around for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bayley, Finn Balor, when he got hurt through no fault of his own, he lost his spot, quote unquote.
Yeah, that was Seth Rollins' fault.
So he never got back to where he was. And I don't, being 190 pounds, 200 pounds, he doesn't fit the Vince McMahon mold of what a champion should look like.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's always going to lean towards a Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, bigger guys.
Right.
So, like I said, for him, he may need to change the scenery to move over to SmackDown at some point.
He might work
to carry that brand. But the way they're not giving the fans reason to care about maybe 6 people a week.
Well, that's the problem. And we've said it before on this show. Is we'll go back to the idea of they're so focused on the casual fan, and we'll admit we're hardcore fans. We would define as hardcore fans. We watch the shows.
You guys are hardcore. I'm not a hardcore fan.
But you're more than a casual.
Yeah, I'm pissy. I'm a pissy fan.
But I'm saying is, you're not just some guy showing you're not going to watch it this week.
I would say I'm a smart.
You're smart. I am too.
too.
I am a smart. But I'm saying is I watch every week.
Yeah.
They're so focused now on the guy that doesn't watch every week, that watches once a month or twice a month. That's
correct.
That's all they care about. And that's become the problem.
Correct. Case in point. The WWE is in Glasgow, Scotland this weekend. Or tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Roman Reigns is sick.
Mm-hmm.
So they've booked the Shield in a match. They need 3 people in the Shield. Guess who the 3rd member of the Shield was tonight?
Oh, it was Triple H.
Yeah.
But you know who he took on, though?
What the absolute F?
Do you know the 3 people they took on, though?
Who?
Cesaro, Sheamus, and the returning Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt returned tonight.
Oh, good for them. But
I'm just saying this is where the booking's going.
Triple H and Seth Rollins on the same team
hate each other.
Exactly.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. Because that was Seth's whole push. He wanted to get away from
Kingslayer.
No sense at all.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And you can't wear the Kingslayer shirt now.
No.
Because the Kingslayers...
Well, they're in full Shield gear.
Let me tag my guy in who I beat the crap out of. And
I tried to end his career.
Who was the guy that put Stephanie's through the table?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, even that is Triple H actively told Seth Rollins, I'm going to end you. I'm going to end your career.
Correct.
I'm going to cripple you to the point where you never wrestle ever again.
In a nutshell. That's my problem. I love listening to the podcast with the old school wrestling guys, not because I'm old school and I'm older. I listen to the old school wrestling guys because they understand ring psychology, crowd psychology. It's very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have Ric Flair coming out. Well, you can have Ric Flair coming out and teaming with Dusty Rhodes now, but back in the day, you could not have Ric Flair being buds with Dusty Rhodes,
biggest rival,
because that stuff would never happen in real life. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, kayfabe. This kind of stuff is the stuff that makes my hair just itch because it drives me so crazy.
But the thing is, and this is where the W covers themselves, they're going to say, well, you realize that didn't really happen because it wasn't on TV. They treat the house shows like they're sandbox.
You cannot say that when it's the WWE putting that content out.
I understand that.
Yeah, cameras rolling.
I understand that. But they're going to use the continuity idea. We did it, but it's not part of continuity.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I understand the concept.
But it's crap. I agree with you.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
It's just like they brought the Shield back together again. Okay? So we bring the Shield back together, and Roman got sick. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. Meningitis, lumps, or I don't know.
Mumps,
not lumps.
Where the hell
my lumps.
Same difference.
My Roman Reigns lumps.
I got some lumps, I'm sure.
I don't see anything different. But when they brought them together, they just missed such opportunity for tension. They came back together too easily. Like, I understood Dean came with Seth first, and then they dragged Roman with him. But I would have liked to have seen a little build up of the story where at points where you had Roman not necessarily in Seth's face, but saying, after they'd gotten back together, I still don't trust you.
Yeah.
Like, acknowledge your past. Be like, it was Seth that was making comments like,
well, it should have been the opposite anyway.
One day it ended.
It should have been the opposite. Dean and Roman should have been together.
Yep. And then Seth should have finally come in.
You allow him back in. That's how that should have happened.
But I acknowledge it, admit it, live with it. Have Roman looking at him like
it's like they want people to forget that storylines that they've done.
Right.
Yeah.
So they can kind of, go in a different direction and no one would question what they're doing.
Oh, they want you to forget
future.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, they totally want you to forget everything. That's, why do you think they talk about the network but never talk about what's on the network?
Yeah.
They talk about go watch the network, but they'll never tell you, again, this is where I think cross promotion, they miss an opportunity. When the field got together, if I was running WWE, I would have been using the network to promote that going, hey, relive, the greatest, go check, or have Corey Graves go, if you go check out the Raw on the Raw from January, to see the Shield, this and that. They don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're not promoting your own product by doing that. And it just goes back to they don't want to admit their past because they don't want to be tied down by it.
Right.
So I got 2 pieces of news.
Okay.
You guys can tell me what you think.
Okay.
First thing I've heard, The Rock was asked about potential comeback for WrestleMania and listed 3 guys that he would like to work with in his final match with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
First choice was Triple H.
Okay.
I know they had been talking about that for a couple of years now. They never could make it work. I know Brock Lesnar was one, he said, or Roman Reigns was the other 3.
He wants to fight his cousin.
Yeah,
well, not really.
Those were the 3 options.
I don't want to see Triple H just because I think
they've
Tripp
done that before.
Well, no, exactly. Tripp had his end of a generation. The fight with Undertaker.
Yeah.
I mean, Tripp went on after that, but that WrestleMania match really was sort of.
That was damn good, by the way.
Damn good, and I don't need to see him wrestle Rock because that brings it back to that
it's like
moment.
a nostalgia match.
Exactly.
Okay.
Whereas with Triple H and Undertaker, it really did end that moment, and you're kind of like, it's over.
How they all walked out together. That was
Exactly.
pretty cool.
Now, Rock versus Lesnar or Rock versus Roman, I could totally.
I think him and
that.
Roman would be money.
Him and Roman Reigns would be huge money. If you did, okay, so this, okay, we'll play book it. Who's face, who's heel?
Roman's heel.
Okay, I agree with you.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So, okay, so do you play it? Okay, so do you play it on? Okay, so if you're going to book it, do you have?
He ended the Undertaker. He wants to end the Rock's career. There you go.
But is that, so you have the Rock come back on a random Raw, where you announce he's coming back, and then you have Roman interrupt him.
You can have Roman call him out. You can have Rock call him out.
Ooh, I actually like that idea better. I like Roman getting in the ring and running his mouth. And
it's almost like a reinvented Legend Killer gimmick with Roman.
Then at the last moment, he looks at The Rock with a tear in his eye. He says, "I love you," and then super kicks him over the top. Oh wait,
nope. Damn it. No, we don't know. I'd be more afraid of the Rock Hulk Hogan thing when, the entire crowd turned on the match and cheered everybody. And you were like, wait a minute.
No, they ain't turning on the Rock for Roman. But you don't have to worry about that.
I like that. I can see Roman running his mouth go, I ended the Undertaker. I've ended this guy.
If you smell, and hear the music and people would go crazy.
No legend would ever be able to face me. And then you hear if you smell what the Rock is cooking.
I think people would go, they would love to see that. Plus, it takes him out of the main event for the title, which Irish would probably love. Yep. So it'd be a good.
And you could play up the whole, and you could also use the whole Samoan thing. Because the Rock could be like, you are a disappointment to our family. You have done nothing that you were supposed to.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I can see that. I like that. I like it better than Lesnar.
Okay.
Rock versus Lesnar would be fun. Yeah. But I still think it would be a nostalgia match.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem with that theory and idea, as attractive as it is the fact that Roman Reigns cannot go toe-to-toe with The Rock verbally.
Oh, God,
no. You thought Cena made him look bad.
Yeah.
So I got one more set of news here.
Well, before you go on to that, hold on. I want to say, once again, I would like to thank the Saugatuck Brewing Company for your...
Say it slow.
I don't want to say it slow.
You try to speed through that.
Saugatuck. Brewing Company with your blueberry maple stout.
Is that S-A-U-G?
S-A-U-G-A.
That'd be Saugatuck.
S-A-W-F-T.
Saugatuck Brewing Company for your blueberry maple stout.
It's like white guys if they cuss really fast. God won't hear 'em.
I love this stuff. Go ahead. What's your next piece of news?
So I heard that this is pretty much 100% done. We're going to have the Four Horsewomen of MMA versus the Four Horsewomen of NXT at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Holy shnikes.
So that match is happening. What do you think?
Wait a
minute. Are they all on the same? Are they all on the same brand right now?
No.
The Four Horsewomen NXT, which would be Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bailey,
Sasha,
and Sasha.
Bailey, yeah. They're going to fight Ronda and the other three.
Yeah.
Rhonda's been training her at the performance center.
She's in Orlando.
The WrestleMania, it was either her versus Stephanie or that match was what I thought.
I have no problem with Horsewomen versus Horsewomen.
I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out there.
Could that be the headliner for WrestleMania?
Nope.
No, not her first match.
Nope.
That'd be interesting. Might be a co-main event.
Until Rick comes out and screws his daughter up and anoints the other horsewomen.
Don't do it,
the
Rick.
horsewomen.
As somebody wheels them downstage. How do you wheel somebody in a strut?
Oh, it's possible. Oh, trust me. If anybody can strut in a wheelchair, I'm sure it's Ric Flair. Which I'm looking forward to off topic completely.
Oh man. My DVR set already.
I cannot wait for his 30 for 30 to come out. It's like a week.
Record that.
Oh my God.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Next Tuesday.
I'm on it.
Actually, is it the 7th?
Yes.
No, it's tomorrow. The show comes out on the 6th, so it's tomorrow.
No,
it's Tuesday.
As you're listening to the show,
tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow.
I see what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. As you listen to the show, it will come out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If you're listening to the show on Monday,
if you're listening to the show on Monday,
if you're listening to it, in 2022, it's an archive
November
show.
7th.
You missed it.
If you're listening to this in 2022, you can probably dial up Netflix on your eyeball and roll through it and find it. Just look for Ric Flair 30 for 30. Because holy crap, it's going to be amazing. Oh, actually, did you hear the news that came out of the 30 for 30 premiere?
No.
There's a conspiracy theory going on. Taker was there, and Taker's hair was black. And the only time he dyes his hair black is when he's getting ready to go back in the ring again.
Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's because he's white every other time. He's completely gray. And he showed up.
Remember I said that a couple weeks ago. That there was rumor he was coming back to fight Kane or something to that effect.
He showed up at the premiere and his hair was jet black.
Taker, come here. Taker. Come here,
it's time for another pep talk.
Taker, come here.
Oh crap! Now we're gonna have pep talk time with Irish.
Taker. May I call you Under? Under. Listen to
Taker.
me. Listen to me.
Armor.
You are old. And I don't mean that to be mean. I'm just being realistic.
My hip hurts.
I know it does. Oh, didn't you have replacement surgery? Didn't you have okay, why do you want to take a brand new hip or whatever the hell you had done and bang it around like that? Listen to me. I know you want to do it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Old school.
I get it. Old school's good. But you are old and you may die, and that's bad.
Rest in peace.
No. I mean, die for real. I mean, die for real. Because if you were dead, you wouldn't age.
I'd see Paul though.
You would see Paul. Yeah, you would see Paul. Here's the thing, buddy. You like Disney movies? Okay, good. Disney movies are good. There's a Disney movie that came out a few years ago, and the theme song totally applies to you. Let it go. Let it go, buddy. You're too old. You have no business being in the ring. I love you. And here's the thing. You remember when Ric Flair retired? Do you remember when Ric Flair retired? How sad that was? And Shawn Michael, I love you. And then he super kicked him in the top rope. Yeah, remember that? Everybody cried. And the next night, Rick said goodbye, and the entire roster came out. And everybody was crying. It was really. And then the TV cameras went off, and you came out, and you said goodbye. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. And then a couple years later, Rick came out on TNA, and he looked like an idiot because he was too old and he shouldn't have been wrestling. That's going to be you if you come out and wrestle.
I'm not in the Hall of Fame yet, though.
You're going to be in the Hall of Fame. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
I like getting paid.
Yeah, I like you getting paid too. You've got royalties, buddy. Let it go.
I have multiple wives.
I have to remove more name tattoos.
And the D
I have to remove name tattoos.
stands for dick.
That's right. And that was
pep
that
talk.
was Irish pep talk of the Undertaker.
He he actually doesn't need to come back.
No.
There's no better way to go out than the way he did at WrestleMania with leaving the gear in the ring.
Yeah.
That was like the best soliloquy that you can present
And here's
for an exit.
And he is such a kayfabe old school dude. Why would he come back?
I think my theory was when I said a couple weeks ago that he was probably going to come back, is I think him and Kane are going to go out at the same time.
Take them both out?
I think they're going to both retire at the same
The
time.
ring will
see that.
explode. And
Something like how Paul Bearer went out.
I'm gonna bury him in concrete.
No,
There would be a way where they both. I don't know if they're going to team together or go against each other, but I think they're gonna find a way for them to both walk away at the
they're
same
gonna
time.
have the first ever both buried alive match.
Something like I think they just may walk away, have a match together against each other, and be done with it.
But see, the problem is Taker already had that though in a way because we talked about earlier the end of a generation fight. That was okay. Taker coming back after that, he should have come back.
I can't see him going out with a loss.
Okay, so
That's what
I don't think-
traditional wrestlers do.
But
They
he's
go out on your
either he's going to
back.
beat.
He
That
is-
means either he's going to beat Kane.
He's the
or
most respected person in that locker room, and if he wants to, I don't think they want to send him off with a loss to Roman Reigns. He may not get revenge on Roman Reigns because that kind of passed the torch, but I think he has one more match in him where he's going to go out a winner. I mean, you got to remember he lost to Lesnar, lost the streak, lost to Roman the following year. So I don't think they want him to go out that way.
Okay.
He can rise up, whatever, one more match. I go out as a winner and I'm done. I think that's what they're going to build
Okay,
towards.
so if you're going to have him beat somebody,
Kane, I mean, what does Kane lose?
yeah. Trying to think of somebody
He's
else.
leaving anyway.
Yeah. Trying to think of. I'll say this:
gone.
I wouldn't mind. I'll tell you what.
He's got political aspirations.
I wouldn't mind Cena Taker.
I think that ship has sailed.
No, I don't. Cena's still always looking for an opponent for WrestleMania. And Cena
He'll
can,
beat Jinder Mahal for the title.
and Cena can take the loss too.
He's already got a title.
I don't want.
I mean that on love.
Yeah.
Not to you, to Cena.
Oh, I know.
Oh, God,
We already
please
know
don't.
what's happening.
Please don't. Please don't.
Jinder, you had a good run, sir.
But okay, so let's where do we think we're going? So we're in November. Survivor Series happens, and we all know after Survivor Series it gets very quiet up until about the second week in January when we'll start building up for the Rumble.
Yes.
So, but we still have between Survivor Series and the Rumble, there is 17 pay-per-views?
463 last
there's
count.
463 between
3 a day.
He lost count. Man.
But where are we going? Are we nothing's coming out of Survivor Series. There's no titles on the line.
Yeah, this pay-per-view is literally a waste of time.
I wouldn't say that. It's going to be good matches, I hope. I hope.
Wait a minute. You want to watch good matches? Then you shouldn't be watching WWE.
Okay, I think Miz. Okay, I'll say what if you're going to talk about Miz versus Baron Corbin could be interesting. Usos versus Ambrose and Rollins. It could be interesting.
Meh.
That could be fun.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Jinder versus Lesnar. That's a slaughter.
Young Bucks versus anybody else?
It can't be. That cannot be a slaughter.
Oh, it's going to be.
It can't be. It's too
can't.
obvious to be a slaughter.
Yeah, they can't because
There's no way Jinder can lose that match. There's no way.
he's got to stay strong, especially getting ready to go into India.
He has to look strong going into WrestleMania. He's going to obviously have to cheat to win. It has going to have to be a fluky type of win. But there is no way he can go over there and get killed by Lesnar. And that just devalues that title right away.
All right.
There's no way that can happen.
But where do we think we're going? Okay, so if you had your ideas, how would you be building towards the Rumble? Like, what would you be doing? I'll ask Irish and JB, where would you be going with this?
Do you mean as far as the championships or
Anything? Yeah, like who would
rivalries?
you be wanting to build up because you always think of it this way. When we're getting in the Royal Rumble, you're starting to build the people up that you want to be heading into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like by the time you get to the Rumble, you already want to have the idea of the people in your head of these are the guys that are main eventing WrestleMania. These are the guys that are taking on these belts at WrestleMania. My show of shows.
Okay, so I'll ask you this then. We'll start with this. Who is your Royal Rumble winner? This could change. Obviously, it's a fluid situation. But if you were to pick right now, going towards that, because that's your first big moment.
Whoever wins that one wins the main event.
That's where you're going to build from. So if obviously this, like I said, this isn't a prediction. This is fluid and could change. But as of right now, who would you say would you pick if you were booking? You're not necessarily saying who was going to win this next year, but if you were picking to win, who would you pick to win it?
Oh, God,
and they're going up against the WWE Raw.
Either champion.
Whoever wins.
They go up against their brand.
That's your first main event set. That's your first piece.
They're going up against their brand.
God, I think it's going to be Cena, and I'm going to hate that. But I really think booking-wise, they're going to go... If Cena is going against Jinder...
But if you're booking, not what they're doing. If you're booking, what are you doing? Because that was that's your question. Where you're booking.
I would say AJ. I would put AJ.
That's what I would say.
I would say have AJ win the whole thing.
See, I wouldn't even have a program with him and Jinder until WrestleMania.
But I wouldn't necessarily. But this thing is, I wouldn't necessarily have him go against Jinder.
They have to go against their brand.
There's ways around that.
Oh.
I would have him come out and basically
challenge
be like
Lesnar?
Challenge, because it just is. You get a title shot. Never had it ever said you get a title shot at your brand. They've never, even last year they didn't say that. You said you get a title shot. I would have him come out and go, fine. I want to go against, because this way, he beats Jinder and becomes the WWE champion. Great. He beats Lesnar. Holy crap!
Let me give you a little pep talk, Fluffy.
Oh, don't give me a pep talk. I love AJ.
They're not going to allow Brock Lesnar to lose to a small man.
I understand that.
Okay, just carry on.
What I'm saying is, but if you're gonna, but intriguing story wise though.
So you've seen AJ naked.
Okay, who would you have win? Okay,
no, I said AJ, but I think he would go against Jinder, but
okay.
I wouldn't have them feud until after Royal Rumble.
Oh, I agree with
you. It looks like they're going to get that started earlier.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have them going against each
Well,
other.
they're doing it now.
After
Well, maybe they're just laying the ground.
I think they're going to fight at Rumble, I think.
The only other person that
I don't even think AJ. Well, he may get in the Rumble, but I think they're going to have a title match at the Rumble.
The only other person I might have win it, if you want a Raw person to go against Lesnar, is KO. I would see KO win it and him go against Lesnar, because Lesnar's the face,
That
KO's
would be
the
intriguing.
heel.
Assuming that KO goes over to Raw.
Yeah, he's going. I think. But that's actually intriguing.
But if you're looking for someone to take on Lesnar and you want a person that you think is an actual
Imagine
threat to Lesnar,
the dialogue with him and Paul Heyman.
yeah, is you have KO in it and walk in on Raw and be like, all right, I want that. I want to take on the biggest dog and basically
I want what's mine.
I
is
want
the
what's
universal
mine.
title.
Yeah, it's his belt anyways.
Yeah.
He said it before. Yeah, you have KO win the whole thing and then he takes on Lesnar. And you're right. Him and Heyman would just burn houses down for a month. What do you think, Irish?
I think it's a good idea. I'm looking up one thing because I have a question.
Okay.
And I don't want to say it on the air.
Uh-oh. No, you can't have cheese.
And I think the idea that that's not a good idea.
All right.
I had a good idea, but it's not a good idea because they've already done it. I think I would rather see, if I were booking it following a little bit of the WWE logic, I would rather have John Cena win the Rumble and go against Brock Lesnar and just be done with it. And then let Lesnar give the belt to Cena and let Lesnar ride off to the sunset.
From one part-timer to another?
Heck yeah, why not? Just be done with it.
Then that just goes back to Fluffy's disdain.
Yeah.
That's part-time champion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but what are you going to do?
Well, you both don't like that, though.
What are you going to do? Because, what I would love to see is, they're not going to put the belt on Strowman because he can't talk.
No.
They're not going to put the belt on Joe because he's not ready.
Nope.
I don't want to see Joe.
Reigns.
I don't want to see Joe. I don't want to see Joe go up against Lesnar again. because I want Joe to win.
If The Rock don't come back, that's what's happening.
I don't want to see Roman Reigns win it. I don't want to see Seth Rollins win it. I don't want to see anybody else win it, honestly. I don't want to see Finn Balor win it because they're just going to screw that up. There's nobody on Raw that I really want to put the belt on.
Adam Cole, baby. Oh, sorry.
He's coming eventually, but he's going to take a while.
Yeah, he's a year away.
Yeah, so I mean, the problem that I'm seeing with it is I feel very much like Randy Orton. It's just there's nothing that's inspiring. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens makes me interested. Shinsuke would be interesting. I would love to see them elevate Sami Zayn back to what he was when he came out of NXT, but that'll never happen.
Sami Zayn would be great as a U.S. champion or an Intercontinental champion. He's fine in that secondary belt.
He's a mid-carder.
He's not a main eventer.
Right.
He's not a heavyweight belt, but he would be great. He's good with that Intercontinental or that U.S. title.
Both of them should have singles titles together.
They should, absolutely. And the thing
have a little mini faction going.
They have screwed Sami Zayn over so bad when he came out of NXT.
But these promos are real. These are real.
But I said he's gotten more interesting though since they put him back with KO. I'm intrigued again.
Yeah, but they're making him a complete. He's the Woody Allen of SmackDown.
Why are you dancing and you're a heel? Stop it.
But
stop skipping to the damn ring.
No, I actually like it though. No. Because
dude was so tired he couldn't even catch his breath to do a promo last week.
He's punning it up.
Like, stop it.
That's the point. He is punning it up. Yeah. He's playing off the idea.
He's playing an antagonist. I get it.
Exactly.
But stop skipping to the damn
He's
ring.
basically saying, you guys didn't support me, so I'm going to do all the things that you all cheered me for, and now you hate me, so you can boo me for the same crap.
Whatever. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm so
Iris
inspired.
is so bored. He's
that beer, man, that beer is hitting me hard. I'll tell you what I would like to see, honestly. I would like to see Jericho come back and get one more run with the belt.
With the main belt.
Hell yeah.
The Universal or
Put the main belt on his ass and let him ride for about 6 months.
Now, okay, see, now there you go. Now that would be bad. If he won the Rumble, and you could put him against Jinder, or you could put him against Lesnar. Well, Lesnar he wouldn't work with, but
Jinder would be amazing to see him run Jinder down.
Yeah, if you had him win and go against Jinder,
but he could get a good match out of Jinder.
Oh, he definitely could. And that would actually be an interesting feud. And I could see it would be now that would be a multi-match thing where I could see Jericho.
I'd love him to win the Rumble though.
Yeah. I would love the Jericho to win the Rumble. That would be fun.
Win it one more time.
Okay, so I pulled a great idea on my belt.
No, you did. That's a really good one. If you had
I'll be here all week.
Jericho win the belt or win the Rumble and then win the belt from Jinder, that would actually be really interesting.
Yep,
and then again, he has people on SmackDown he could go against. AJ, Shinsuke, Sami Zayn.
That could facilitate actually your Kevin Owens move to Raw. You allowed this guy to come back and get a shot. He hasn't been here, and I've been carrying this brand for 6 months, and Jericho comes back and wins.
There's two people that I would love to see Chris Jericho go up against on SmackDown. One, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep.
The entrances, the way that they would go back and forth would be classic. And the second thing would be a complete elevation of the character. And that would be for Chris Jericho to go up against 10.
Ty
Dillinger, because I think that their styles are complementary.
A heel Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, and I think that Ty
could be
Ty could be a nice foil to Jericho because he can talk.
Yeah,
and he can get over with the crowd.
He's already
they
over.
Could actually a little bit more.
I'll tell you somebody else who could fit that role, but it's currently being used in a different way. It's
Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze would be the same way. Tyler Breeze coming in as a single, coming back as a single, and going against Jericho especially would be great because Tyler could totally use the gimmick, the supermodel gimmick he's used before, and that same idea of the old. I'll use the term from Men in Black, the old busted. New hotness. Like that would be a great way of doing it, of having him going, I'm you, but better than you ever used to be.
I have a great idea. What if because Fandango needs a repackaging.
Yep.
Let Dango use his real name.
Okay.
And then Tyler Breeze.
Yeah.
So you repackage Fandango a little bit. You repackage Tyler Breeze just a little bit, and you put them with let me think. Who is a young lady on the current roster on SmackDown that's kind of not really getting traction.
Are you fishing or are you thinking?
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm asking
Oh,
questions.
okay.
I'm really looking for an answer
Tamina?
here. Who?
Tamina?
No, Tamina's not. We need
Lana?
somebody. No, she's got too much character. We need
Becky?
No, like somebody like lower card. We don't have anybody. They could raise somebody
They
up.
don't
from,
really have.
Yeah, I don't have him.
Got it. Who is the blonde? Who's the blonde girl from NXT?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. You bring Liv Morgan up.
Carmella Jr.
No, Carmella's already got the money.
No, I mean
thing.
Carmella
Carmella
Jr.
You bring Liv Morgan up and
Gimmick
change her
infringement.
look. Change her look a little bit.
Yeah, they have to.
And put Tyler Breeze, Liv Morgan, and Fandango and repackage them and give them the type of gimmick, not the same name, not the same move set. Give them the same gimmick as
Motion?
like the M&M.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Because they all have that same look.
Yeah,
M&M
they
was
do.
amazing.
They were a great team.
And that could actually work. And what that does is it gets them off the cutesy, haha, funny, haha stuff and lets them go back to being pure wrestlers. And you have a great tag
Hell,
team.
bring Melina back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Well,
Reboot
look what's happened with Andreas Cien Almas.
Yeah.
They put him with a mouthpiece.
Oh, he's great now.
And he's amazing.
He was boring before, but he's really good now.
And so they've got the ability to do that. And you could take Dango and Tyler Breeze and repackage Fandango. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And change his name. Give him his real name back and let them come out and do that. That right there, that's money.
That was a great gimmick, Eminem.
Any last words? Hope, dreams.
We say all this stuff not because we hate the product.
No,
That's
we love the
problem.
product.
We love the product, and it's just
wrestling.
It's frustrating, and coming off the heels of, I kind of get Darren. Yeah, I kind of get Summer Rae. I totally don't get Emma at all.
That was political. Now we're being more and more. It was totally political. She
I
burnt
get that.
bridges. She rubbed people the wrong way.
So there's a lot of wrestlers who've done that, and they're still on the roster.
Well, but that's the thing is I don't think she was willing to make the adjustments. Neville's gone. Neville left.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Nia wanted to leave, except they convinced her to take a break, and now she's come back.
Well, The Rock told her if she wasn't happy, leave.
Yeah.
She literally reached out to him,
Yeah.
and she made her. He said, "If you're not happy, you need to leave."
That's why I don't think The Rock's going to be coming back anytime soon. I think that Vince probably was like, "Really?
That's the reason she didn't get fired. Was
That
because
guy."
of The Rock.
No, I think it was treated. I don't think
Yeah, The Rock has saved her
I think
job,
it was
probably.
sage. I think it was sage advice, as in. I don't think if it's the way it happens. I read this ending. I don't think if the way it happened, it wasn't like if you don't happy, quit. I think it was
Take a time off.
I think it was
Take
you
a
need to
break.
step away and
figure
decide
things
this is
out.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're not happy, you truly leave. But if you want to do this, you need to commit.
Yeah.
And I think that was the conversation. I think it's gotten condensed down to
Right.
Yeah.
if you're not happy, quit. I think that's what, and I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't necessarily. I mean, she may have reached out to The Rock, but it may have also been somebody's suggestion, a Triple H or somebody like this, said, "Hey,
Yeah, talk to Rocky."
talk to Rock," because if anybody will tell you, you got to stick through the shit to
Yeah.
get to the good part. Let's go back and watch the video of Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
Holy die, Rocky die is still one of the worst things that ever happened.
Right.
And we created an icon out of that.
But the thing is, her, Neville, so many other wrestlers,
It's
they're
not the
running.
end of it.
They're running into the same problem. Super talented people, shitty booking.
Yeah.
How do you fix shitty booking?
You need a complete
Starts at the top.
Stop. This is where we go back to the other thing is Vince needs to step away. It needs to be, the company literally needs a complete flush.
Vince, Kevin Sullivan,
Yep.
Kevin
Bucky,
Sullivan.
Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn, excuse
Yeah.
me. Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
Practicing voodoo underneath the stage. Michael P.S. Hayes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of them.
Like honestly, if I had my hope, and I never thought I'd be saying these words, if you asked me 3 years ago, I told you you're nuts.
Yeah, I would laugh at you.
I want literally Vince to give him power, and his first decision to say, okay, fine. Here's a list of people that are no longer working here.
Right.
And literally wipe everybody out just across the board. and you get rid of, and as much as I like seeing, like Devon and all these guys as agents, just wipe them all out, start over, because it's almost like the theory of
that old school mentality.
Yeah, that, or okay, I'll use a movie reference. Princess Bride. Princess Bride is a perfect example. Dread Pirate Roberts. When they were talking about that movie, they always talk about how the Dread Pirate Roberts was several people, and every time they would change Dread Pirate Roberts, they would go to shore, get a whole new crew, and come on and say, "Hey, that guy's in command now." Mm-hmm. And they would, and I know it's a movie, but it's the same idea. Almost like Tripp needs to take control, wipe everybody out, and then as everybody comes in, goes, "By the way, that guy's in control." It's not Vince, it's that guy. And he needs to bring in all his people in control so he gets his whole level, writers and everything.
I agree.
And it would completely change the product.
Totally agree.
My question is I'm curious what her vision is for the future. Is she more Vince or is she more Triple H as far as her vision?
I think she's business.
Because where does she lie in the middle of this?
I really, my hope is, I think,
because they're going to be the ones running it.
I think she's going to go. I think she'll run the business side, and he'll run the creative side. Exactly. The position I want to see Vince in that. Yeah.
Side.
She'll do the partnership. She'll do the relationships. She'll glad hand the sponsors. She'll make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And then Triple run the show. Yeah. Exactly. He'll run creative. He'll run the talent. She'll run the money. And between the two of them, I think it'll work.
Yeah, like you said, that's a good way to start. You got to get the old guard out of there. Because they're used to things being a certain way, and they're used to what worked back then. Yep. And it's like they can't see the future because they're so stuck in the old ways.
And you also don't want, if you're taking over, and again, I'll say to Triple H, if you're taking over, what you don't want is if you're in a meeting and you say, "I want to do this, this, and this," the last thing you want somebody up and go, "Well, that's not how Vince did it. I don't give a shit how he did it." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And any new company, that's not what you want. You want to come in.
You want put your own stamp on it.
And the company is old enough now where it needs that drastic change. It needs that positioning to keep going. And I really believe Tripp may be that position.
I think, unfortunately, they don't have to go back to the Attitude Era, but they got to get a little more risque.
Yeah.
In their booking and in their programming. It has to become must-see TV again.
Yep.
There's times where they look like, they're turning a corner. And things are going to get better. And then there's times where they're back on the 50-50 booking. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's like, you look at it, you're like, man, I could go a month and not even watch this. You know what I mean?
And then there's more than a month. I've thought that.
And then you get this one show, every 3 months, we're like, man, I can't wait to see what happens next week. And then it's like, they have to be more consistent with their vision.
Yep.
I always go back to Irish's whiteboard theory. So, they literally need a direction and a vision, especially with the call-ups going forward.
I agree. Totally agree.
All right.
Down with that.
All right. Well, that was a fun conversation.
Good beer.
Good beer. I would like to say Saugatuck Brewing Company for your blueberry maple stout. It was really good. God, that's a good beer. If you can find it, definitely find it. And if you want to find out how we're drinking it, I was on Untapped.
Yes, you can follow us on Untapped. See what we're drinking. I've got a couple new friends that follow me on Untapped. So, any suggestions that you guys have for us, please feel free to share them with us. We'll be more than happy to drink them. Yeah. You can follow me as I siphon the rest of the beer out of this bottle at Good OLJB.
You can follow me at Mr. Fluffy, and always follow me because, I like drinking.
He's an alcoholic. And you can follow me as I slowly murder my liver one beer at a time at the Irish O'Leary.
When you're ready to put your beer down.
Beer, you are so dumb. You're next to be released by the WWE.
Future endeavored.
Thank you for your service and your future endeavors.
Make sure you head over to vintagepressing.com. Vintagepressing.com, where you can get drink coasters, luggage tags, beer coasters, and more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. Make sure that you follow us over at facebook.com/beers and body slams podcast. You can catch up with all of our social stuff there and or at Beers Body Slams on Twitter because Baron Corbin can't spell A. You can also find all of our shows and our great sponsors and some of the other blog stuff that we put up there over at beersandbodyslams.com.
And we're looking for reviews on the old iTunes. So if you want to give us a 5-star review, we appreciate it, because giving us a review will help expand us to new people, and the more people that listen, the more we influence and they hear us stupid.
Yes, it's definitely a way for us to get the name, the word out. We're looking to expand the show, provide you guys with new and exciting content.
That's right, and drink new beers.
So the more reviews we get, the more opportunities we'll have to expand this show and give you guys, more products going forward.
We want to influence more people while we're under the influence.
That's right. I like that one.
Put that on a t-shirt.
There we go. Actually, you tune in on Wednesday or Thursday. That's when the show comes out. Show comes out on Thursdays.
One day into the way.
Make sure you tune in on Thursday. We're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown, normal stuff, and then following Monday, when next week we're going to have some fun Survivor Series theme shows leading up to it. Next Monday we're going to have sort of like fantasy booking for Survivor Series, but we're going to do teams like it used to be 4-on-4 fantasy teams. Any wrestler you want from any time. So we're going to have some fun with that. We're each going to come up with a few matches and enjoy that. As always, make sure you keep your pint glasses full and your body slams stiff.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.